All right, welcome back, everybody, for our A-B up and down set. This one is going to be Rain versus TromboneHam, the victor of our last set. And our first map will be Entombed Valley. And joining me, as I said before the break, we have Scorbnut as my co-caster.
What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm going to be casting some fun games, PvP, good stuff. So hopping into the first game, we have the light blue Protoss on the bottom right. It's TromboneHam, who actually likes hams, and that's why his name is. So up in the top left, we have the green Protoss sporting the green Terran sporting his traditional colors. It's Rain. I don't know why he always takes green, but he does. I think it has something to do with smoking weed. I feel like Rain is a closet stoner. I feel like him and Zaya would get along if they met each other. That's just one of those things. I don't know.
We'll
So, I'm assuming Rain's going to do some kind of timing push into Trombone, but the thing is he's random, so he might try and cheese him. This will be fun. Again, Rain does not know that he's versus Protoss, so he's either going to 1x expand or cheese. Probably 1x expand, so...
Yeah, and as Terran, because you have the advantage of walling off, and the one Rax expand is the exact same build order for all three matchups, it's pretty safe just to be able to do it and then find out what they are later.
You can always go CC before depot or CC after depot, but yeah, it's more or less the same thing. Rain is getting a really, really early scout out. I believe this map is just no horizontal spawns in this version. I don't think it's forced cross, so he's going to check this bottom left. Trombone, on the other hand, is going to scout straight across and actually scout Rain first. So that'll be a little bit of an advantage for Trombone, but at least Rain will know what race he is up against.
Mm-hmm.
That's something worth noting.
Yeah. So yeah, both players just opening standard. Probably won't see for a little bit what Trombone's doing. We'll see where it elegates his chronos. And then we'll see if Ram drops down either another barracks or a CC. Trombone getting a little bit of SCV harassed with his probe.
It's so annoying. As a Terran player, that is the most annoying thing ever. If you're playing TVT and a different Terran does that, you're just like, bro, I thought we were friends. Like, you're supposed to understand how annoying this is. Why are you doing this?
There is no friendships in war.
And no, there's no friendships in TVT. Blizzard hates everybody. It's so much fun to watch TVT. It's the worst matchup to play. It is so, at least for me, I have nightmares over it. So they figured that they'd add that on so you can, punish each other even more.
I've played 3 TVTs, and I contemplated suicide afterwards.
Yeah, they're not fun to play. They're very stressful. But yeah, Rain electing to drop the CC before the second depot gets out a couple of or loses a couple of Marines to get out the faster expansion. Not that big of a deal. Do it if you feel safe. Which against Trombone, who kind of plays unpredictably, considering he trolls random at lower levels, it's one of those things that's kind of risky, but can definitely pay off. Yeah, Rain supply blocked, but that's completely standard when you get that depot second. On the other hand, Trombone not looking. You think he's going to expand, but he hasn't really decided what he's going to do with his money yet.
Yeah, he did get the probe up in and out safe to see the bunker and the CC going down, so he knows what time that dropped.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely huge too. You usually have to sacrifice a unit to see that CC if you don't scout it with the initial probe. So getting that initial probe back in is really, really big for Trombone. Knows he's going to be relatively safe next coming couple minutes.
Mm-hmm. And Trombone, does he have his... No, Trombone skipping the Zealot, opting to just go for 2 Stalkers really fast. 3 Stalkers, so... Oh, there comes a Sentry. He canceled it last second. Well, I think he's going to walk up with the Stalkers and go poke around, try to get some hits on the bunker, force SCVs to come off the line to repair.
This build that Rain's doing is actually it's kind of unusual and interesting. Usually as a Terran, after you get these extra 2 barracks, from what I usually see, you get a third gas, or a second gas, and he doesn't have his second gas yet, so I'm not familiar with this build. It'd be really interesting to see what he does with it from here.
Mm-hmm. Stalkers poke up just to double check, see what's going on up there. Trombone's on top of his game, pulling his stalkers back without losing any health on either of them.
Yeah, Range is pumping out a bunch of Marines right now. I'm surprised he can afford Stim. No, he can't kind of afford Stim. He's just probably going to be getting it right now that he can. Yes, there it goes.
Yeah, Stim started.
The thing is with this build, because Rain is getting the second gas so late, he actually can't afford a factory. So he's going to be needing to drop down a bunch of barracks or a third CC. I'm assuming it's going to be a third CC, but there's not a whole lot of options for Rain right now because of this gas timing. So he needs to kind of make his decision very soon as far as what he wants to do. Trombone, on the other hand, is really gateway light, so not much he's going to be able to do to Rain as far as pressure.
Yeah, and Rain's going to push out with his handful of Marines to go see what's up, and Trombone's moving the Stalker to the Watchtower. Hopefully it's on A move, but he's going to get there before the Marines, and the Marines are just going to stutter step it down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like this move out. It's without Stim. This can get force fielded so easily. Trombone has 3 sentries, and yeah, he's just going to go back home. Just taking the Watchtower. Good play, pretty smart.
Yeah. It did cause Trombone, because the ramp's so wide, to warp in 2 more sentries, so he's up to 5 rather than warping in good attacking units.
Yeah, and Rain is actually electing for the other option based off what I was saying earlier. He's taking extra barracks, by the way. He's not taking that third CC, so he's going to be able to put on a lot of pressure soon. It's something he wants to.
So yeah, I personally think the third CC might have been a good idea, especially on this map, because it's fairly easy to defend.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not necessarily that big of an issue. It feels like the barracks were a little bit late to me. So it feels like he's going to have issues macroing, and he's still getting his starport and all the stuff that you want as a Terran up. But the problem is he can't actually attack into a defensive Protoss with a bunch of bio. So it's cool that he has all this bio and all these extra barracks and all that, but the Protoss is going to have Colossus up. He's got a lot of sentries already, so even if you tried to attack into it, it would just go really, really poorly. So Rain really needs to expand pretty soon.
Yeah.
But he's getting up all the tech that he wants, more or less. He's going to be getting all of his upgrades. Does he have Combat Shield yet? No, he doesn't, but he will be getting it very soon. Is he saturating his other gases? Yeah, so he just recently put into the gas that is natural. He had them, but he only had 1 in each for a little bit. I wonder what this probe is doing on the left side of the map for Trombone. I'm thinking it might be a proxy pylon. He's already got one down on the bottom left.
Well, as Protoss, having multiple proxy pylons on the map's good, because you can warp in and flank from different areas. CC is going down for Rain, so about 10:30, so on time.
Yeah, Trombone taking a little bit of a fast expansion, not too fast, but it's going to be dropping down at around 11 minutes. I'm actually wondering if these pylons are more self-provisioned for drops rather than warping in as a proxy location. It seems like that would make a little bit more sense, I suppose. But yeah, currently Rain kind of moving out, getting a little bit active on the map, just going to protect his third. On the other hand, Trombone has a couple Colossus, doesn't really need to worry about any pressure right now, if he would see what Rain's composition is right now. And Rain, of course, getting his Vikings, getting up his armory for the +1 attack for his Vikings, finishing up his third, etc., etc. Getting all the right response.
Little bit of supply block for Trombone, delaying that third Colossus. He does have his Twilight on his way, though, and +1 weapons. And moving out to kill the SCV that looked like it was on hold position, just hold position in the wrong place.
Yeah, just there to scout. It paid its worth in information, so the SCV did its job and then died an honorable death. But one thing I'd really, really like to note is if you look at Rain's composition, he's actually really, really, really Marine heavy. He currently has 4 Marauders and a bajillion Marines. He literally has, like 30-something Marines? 42, pardon me. So he's going to have a lot of trouble attacking into a Colossus with any kind of splash damage. He's going to have Colossus up, he's going to have charge lots, and he might have Storm by the time Rain decides to attack. So Rain kind of is getting to the point where if you don't do a decent amount of damage, you don't go into the late game with a lead, you kind of find yourself in trouble, and it becomes really hard to micro your army. It's not to say that Terran is unfair or against Protoss, whatever. There are certain timings in the game where yes, it's not balanced. Terran has a much stronger mid game than Protoss. When you get to late game, though, it's kind of rough, and Rain hasn't really done anything to prevent that from happening to give himself a nice lead. He does have an upgrade advantage, yes. He has pretty
Yeah.
much the same economy. Yeah,
Nice
so
pick
I
up.
mean,
Nice pick off of Trombone's observer scouting the army. He grabbed a handful of Marines, stemmed up, and took it down.
yep. Rain is a little bit light on Vikings. I don't think he should actually attack into this. Four Vikings will not kill three Colossus fast enough.
Mm-hmm. He's got a
So
fifth. He's got a fifth Viking moving down right now, and sixth and seventh in production, almost ready to come out.
you want to have about 3 to 4, usually around 4 per Colossus. Up towards around 16 is when you stop, if I remember correctly. If you get +1, you can begin to reduce those numbers because then they obviously are more effective. Rain just running up, actually, going to try and focus down this third really fast, doing a lot of damage to it. It will
He
fall.
gets the third, but he can't pick up. His army gets trapped. Nice force fields on the ramp by
he's
Trombone.
trying to pick up, but Rain is splitting as hard as he can, but this is just a really bad engagement angle. His Vikings are not going to be able to kill down all these Colossus fast enough, and he's going to lose a lot of his bio here to these Colossus. And yeah, Rain's army gets absolutely cleaned up by these Colossus. It's so much work.
Oh, feedback on the medevacs, taking one of them down.
Good insult to injury there. Supplies have evened up. The thing is, Rain doesn't have much of an army back at home, so even though he did kill the third, it wasn't the best trade ever. So this is going to be a decent counterattack coming from Trombone.
Yeah, and Trombone's got +2 armor almost done. Another Colossus coming out. Charge is done. Storm is going to finish up here within a matter of seconds. And Trombone can pretty much, he's got 2 Colossus in his composition and Archon. He can just roll in the map and just start killing a whole lot. He's going to start by return the favor. Force fields on the little bridge to keep Trombone's army out, and he's just going to return the favor and kill Rain's third.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think that Rain can actually fight up the choke against these Colossus. These Colossus are in such a good now defensive position that they're going to do so much work again.
Yeah, force field the ramps, the Rain can't come up, and now he can is forced to pull SCVs.
I think they're just returning to mine. He's not really trying to pull them or anything. It's just the issue is Rain's bio is so low he can't engage, and these medevacs don't have a ton of energy, and he's going to actually pick off Colossus there.
He did get a free Colossus, but his army is just so low. His medevacs are going to run out of energy before he can get back to counter, and Trombone already has a decent force back at home.
Yeah. So actually, this game is more or less evened out. Rain is ahead, I think, on upgrades. The issue is Trombone is a bit ahead on tech. Trombone right now has Templar with Storms. He has Colossus. Rain does not have Ghosts yet, and he still has a very Marine-heavy army. Rain's will melt the Storm, so if Trombone hits a single Storm here, Rain could lose a lot of this army. So this is a really dangerous move out for Rain, and he has to control this really well to make it cost-effective. And Rain just now adding Ghosts. Oh, runs in again, just YOLOing so hard, trying to take the third.
Oh, huge storm going down. Second storm going down, and Rain calls the GG. He's probably yelling F storm at the top of his lungs, too, at this point.
I know that Rain was mad at that game, but that was definitely, I feel, a premature GG. He has the upgrade advantage coming up. He's going to be on 3-2 to 2-2. He more or less is only a little bit behind economically, not like miles behind. I don't know. I feel like he could have come back. I know it's very demoralizing to lose everything, a couple storms, but still, very good set, very back and forth. Very good game.
All right, we're going to take a momentary break and return with Game 2.